This is Reza Aslan. It's Monday, March 29th. Last night, President Obama made a secret visit to Afghanistan. He flew into Bagram Air Force Base at the dead of night to meet with a group of soldiers and to give them a little rally speech about the success of the president's Afghan surge strategy. Now, just recently, the so-called Marja offensive, the offensive meant to clear the town of Marja of Taliban fighters, has come to an end. Although the town is far from being secured, it seemed to have been a fairly successful undertaking. In many ways, though, it was just a dress rehearsal for a much larger offensive that's bound to take place in Kandahar in the next few weeks. I've had some military strategists refer to Kandahar as Marja times 10. So we'll see how that strategy goes. In the meantime, one of the things that the president talked about during his speech at the Bagram Air Force Base is the success that the United States has had in training Afghan army soldiers and the Afghan police force. And that can be questioned somewhat. Let me put it this way. So far, the United States has spent about $6 billion trying to create an effective Afghan police force. But from all signs and all the reports that we're getting from Afghanistan, so far it seems as though that the attempt has been a disaster. The police force seems to be incompetent, corrupt, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. It turns out now that reports are coming out of Afghanistan to say that something like 40% of the police recruits, those training to be part of the Afghan police force, have tested positive for illicit drugs, mainly heroin and opium. This is on top of reports coming out that the Afghan army itself apparently is mostly doped up. We have soldiers, U.S. and British soldiers, complaining that every time the Afghan soldiers get a few minutes break from whatever the mission is, they start to light up joints, smoke hash, smoke opium, and they spend most of their time out in the field generally, well, stoned. So part of the offensive, of course, in Afghanistan is to rid the country of the scourge of its drug problem, and it seems as though that the military that we are spending billions of dollars training has a drug problem of its own. So here's the question: are we doing any good in Afghanistan? Has the surge actually done much good in securing Afghanistan? And is the main problem here the fact that we're dealing with a culture of corruption that seems to not be benefiting no matter how much money, no matter how many billions of dollars we are sending over there? Well, it remains to be seen, but I think that in these next few weeks, as the drive to clear Kandahar, which is a major Taliban stronghold of Taliban forces, comes to a draw, that's when we're going to start seeing some serious bloodshed, and I think that we're going to start seeing the American patience for this war begin to dwindle. This is Reza Aslan for Aslan Media.